Hi, Kylie here and welcome to my plan with me for 2023. Just quickly, here's a little bit of a video. This is the space that I draw. So that's where I put my phone to record what I'm drawing, my random collection of pens, my water for my watercolors. It looks nothing like that about 30 seconds after I start drawing, but it's very well organized when I start. So let's go through this. This is my plan with me for 2023 for the setup of my new bullet journal and also January because I drew it all together, so it's all in one video together. Now, I'm changing how I'm doing my bullet journal and a few different things in my bullet journal this year. There were a few things that weren't really working very well for me, and so I'm making some wholesale changes. And I'll explain some of those as I go along because you'll see them. But one of the things that you'll find is this sort of line work that I'm doing here and that you will see when I do my January title page and a few other places. You're probably going to see a lot of that this year. I've been playing a lot with this sort of line work and I'm really enjoying it, and it's forming the basis of a lot of my sort of artistic practice at the moment. So you're likely to see quite a bit of it in here, which it's not that dissimilar to stuff that you would have seen for about the second half of 2022 anyway. But yeah, I'm not really theming my bullet journal again at the moment, but you're likely to see a lot of this. Having said that, for some reason those sort of mollusk shapes that I did up the top gave me an idea of the sea or the ocean. And so I drew some reeds down the bottom and went, what am I going to do on the side? And decided I'm going to put a jellyfish because I have no idea why, but I just felt like drawing a jellyfish. I think this is how my year is going to be. So expect things to be a bit random because I just get the feeling that that's what 2023 is going to be, a little bit random. So yes, we've made it into the 1st of January, and somehow I thought that 2022 was never going to let us go. So, let's see how this year goes. But yeah, look, last year was a lot. Let's hope that this year is not quite as much of a lot. Let's just put it that way. So title page for 2023, then we've got the calendar page. Do not worry, you will not see me draw this calendar up. It is the most tedious process in the world to draw up a calendar if you have not done it yourself. It's just tedious. But I thought I'd show you drawing the floral components. I think I've done a floral calendar page for every bullet journal that I've done so far. I have no idea why I decide to put florals on there, but I tend to do that. Actually, the last one might have been the line sort of pattern, but a lot of them have florals. And there you go, magic of editing. You don't have to watch me write up the entire calendar year. So yeah, I actually find this calendar is really useful. I know I carry a calendar around with me in my phone all the time, but just being able to have it like this and have it out and be tactile with it while people are talking is actually really valuable. So that's why I continue to keep one in here. I just find it to be quite useful and I use it quite a bit when I'm going through and doing these things. So this year, there are a few things that I have planned, but yeah, I don't really have a feel for what this year is going to be and what it's going to look like. I just really don't have that at this point in time. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? You'll also notice that now I've remembered the fact that I normally put my camera on a bit of an angle so you can better see me draw. Honestly, I feel like it's been months since I've drawn up a bullet journal because there are so many little things that I just forgot to do, and it's quite astounding, really. But yeah, let's just go through. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do this year with my bullet journal is, and this is for me, you're not going to see it, but I'm not going to draw it up month by month, because that's literally how I do it. I have literally, for the last couple of years, gotten to the end of a month and drawn up the next month, and it's gotten a little bit much. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, when I get really busy work, it just makes it really difficult for me to get time to do this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm drawing up January now, and I'm going to do a few weeks of January to check that the new week layouts that I'm doing work. And if they work, I'm actually going to draw up about the next 4 months, which is why this starts at May and it doesn't start in February, because I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, February, March and April are going to be there. So I don't have to use the future log to capture the things that I need to be doing in those months. So that's part of the reason why. You'll also notice back there that for some reason, I believe April comes after May. This shows you where my brain is at the moment. And it's really good because it's really nice to stuff up something that sort of fundamentally simple this early in my bullet journal, because it really kills my perfectionism. And look, I mean, the fix was easy enough. Just put a great big black box over it and write on it in white. It's not difficult, but you know, I've gotten a lot more calm and gentle with myself about this. All right, so on to my 3 words for 2023. So if you don't know what my 3 words are, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do this. Chris Brogan introduced me to the concept about 12 years ago now, 11 or 12 years ago. You pick 3 words that basically set your intentions for the year. So I don't have, I do have goals. That's going to be the next page, but I don't have New Year's resolution of things. This is basically what I'm aiming for, and it helps me make decisions in a more appropriate way as I'm going through the year. So the first one there is peace. I just want more peace in my life. I've had a few things over the last couple of years that have really had quite negative impacts on my mental health and have definitely impacted my feeling of peace in the world. So I want more peace. I also want more balance. It's been great that I've had a lot of work on and other bits and pieces, but I feel that I haven't had enough time for my own professional development. There are a few skills that I really want to learn that I just haven't had time to commit to. And there are also some personal projects that I want to be able to do that I just have not had time for. And I'm just feeling generally quite run down. So I want more balance. And that's me trying to go back to a 4-day work week for clients, so that I definitely know I have a day a week that I can focus on my professional development and my projects and things that I want to be doing, if not a little bit more time at certain times. And then the last one down there is basically, it could all come down to one word, which is more. I want more time to develop my skills. I want more peace. I want just more calm. I want more movement. So I want more time to play on my trapeze and to do those sorts of things. So I want more. So yeah, that's just going to be really good for me to remember when I get asked to do certain pieces of work. I am allowed to say no, or I am allowed to say, well, yeah, I can, but it's not going to happen this month if you want that to be me doing it. So, it'll be interesting to see how I push back and how well I do or do not do that. So along with this, for this year, this is the quote page. And yes, that big sigh is for a reason, because I'm going to say things out loud that I don't generally say out loud. So one of the things that I want to do this year is more art. A lot of what I do is, I'm an illustrator. I do illustration. I don't deem it to be art. Really what I do in my bullet journal is, a lot of it is art, but I don't call it that. And I want to basically own being an artist this year, and I want to do more what I consider to be more art, stuff that you would hang on walls, that sort of art. So, I couldn't find one quote that sort of really spoke to me about this. So I decided on a double-page spread I'd have 5. So the role of the artist is to ask questions, not answer them, from Anton Chekhov. To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong, Joseph Chilton Pearce. Then Thomas Merton quote, art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt, which I really need to remember, from Sylvia Plath. And in order to do something well, we must first be willing to do it badly, by Julia Cameron. So I just wanted to have a nice, really creative spread in here that reminded me that this year I'm going to try to really own being an artist. And trust me when I say the cringe and the feeling that puts in my stomach to say that out loud on this video is really hard, and actually makes me a little bit teary for how... we'll leave that alone and just move on to the next bit. So just my self-development and skills development pages to track the things that I'm doing. Now, this is my mood tracker. For those of you who have been here before, you know that normally I draw up all these little icons and I have one a day and I colour them in, with basically I use a 3-colour scheme so I can have good, bad and indifferent on the same day. Like, that's what can happen. The thing that I find is that it's not comparable. Like, I can't see altogether how I'm going with my mood. So I've decided to put it all into one page here. So we've got the cross is not good at all. Then it's a meh. Then it's okay and good. So I'm hoping that allows me to track it a little bit better and sort of see where things are naturally ebbing and flowing a little bit more. That's why I've put it onto one page. So that's one of the changes that I've made that's actually fairly significant in the way that I lay out my bullet journal. Another one is this. I've turned my title page into a double-page spread rather than trying to also put that month calendar layout on here as well. It's a little bit of embracing the art side of things where I've gone, no, each title page can be its own distinct piece of art. So this is January and I did something simple for this month because I just really still don't have a lot of energy. I'm starting to feel like I'm recovering from 2022, but the last month for me was really intense with client work and so much drawing, which hopefully I'll be able to sort of share some of it soon because there actually are some animations that have now gone out into the world, but there are a few others that are happening as well that, I should get on my portfolio page soon on my website. But anyway, this is the line work that I'm talking about. You're probably going to see a lot of this sort of thing. You're probably going to see a lot of, I'm really enjoying doing it. I'm planning on doing a bit of a large art project relating to it. You're likely to see more of this as we go through. And I continue to hone my skills around this sort of line work and how this works. But we'll see how that goes. So this isn't going to, it's just not all going to be double page spreads like this. One of the things that because I've been doing a lot of watercolour work on actual watercolour paper, I've put way too much water and colour into some of these pages and you'll see some of it bleed through, particularly that purple, it bleeds through a lot. I'm going to do some more pop-ups this year as well because I just love them. They're so much fun. And then I might do some watercolour work that I sort of stick into here as well. But they will all be double page spreads. I might even do some Dutch windows. We'll see. We'll see what I play with and what happens and how it works. But yeah, this is January. A little bit nice and easy because my brain needs it to be a bit nice and easy, but also, yeah, quite nice. I like it. All right, so this is where then that month layout is going. It's going on to the next page. So you'll see the other thing that I've lost in here is my work tracker. Now, my focus area still has a little bit of work tracking in it, but I've got a whole other Art and Olive journal, which is I'm using to actually track my client work and all of the projects and everything else, because I'm just finding that I need a little bit more. And yes, I know I can do all of this electronically. I'm well aware of that. I like doing it tactile. I enjoy having things in handwritten form. And it doesn't mean that I don't track things electronically as well, but I do like to have it just in a book that I can just carry around with me and easily just open up and go, I need to add this in. Oh, they've rung me, great, open up to their page and just put some notes in. So that's another shift. Now the other thing, my quotes for this year, because I'm keeping in quotes, all of them are going to be song lyrics. So this one is, of course, for anyone who doesn't know, Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog. Someday we'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers and me. So you're going to get, song lyrics. I've picked a few that I really want to have in here, and it's going to be fun to do up as these sorts of quotes. But yeah, I definitely haven't picked an entire year's worth yet. It's amazing when you sit there and go, well, what are song lyrics that I really love? And your brain goes, I don't know what music is. I don't know any songs that you love. And you go, great, thanks very much for that. It's really helpful. Anyway. But this is a song that I love. I can actually sort of play it on the ukulele. I say sort of. I need to have it in front of me, and I definitely can't play it quite as fast as it needs to go. But when I practice it for a bit, it actually doesn't sound half bad. So there you go. It's another random thing that you now know about me. I can randomly play a little bit of ukulele. There are like 3 songs that I can play. Because I don't really commit much time to it. So there you go. That's how it works. So this is what I'm saying about putting too much colour on, too much water. Not so much colour, but too much water. Things are bleeding through, and you'll see when we come back the other way that that purple that's come through on the left-hand side, because I put a purple dot behind this quote, that bleeds through as well. But hey, again, it's my bullet journal. This isn't my art journal. That's a whole other different thing. But this is my bullet journal, so it's okay if it's not perfect and things bleed and I'm not within the lines and I'm not doing things properly, and it's perfectly fine. It's my diary. So, yes. Yeah, so I'm still doing the quotes because I find that that's an important practice for me, to practice a little bit of my lettering and a little bit of layout. And, I never, none of these things are ever perfect. That's not perfectly centered. But it's just a fun way for me to play and get a bit more color in here as well. So I'm going to show you 1 week. I'm not going to go through, because I will do that again this year, not show you all the weeks being drawn up. But what I'm doing is I'm putting all the tasks. There'll be 2 columns on the left-hand side that'll be all the tasks that I need to do this week. So as something new comes in, I can write it onto the task list, but I'm not allocating them to days, because I find I end up moving stuff around so much and I end up not moving it, and then I'm never sure when things actually happened. And it's just all gotten a little bit confusing for me when I've been really busy. So then on the right-hand side, I've got the days. And the space here is for diarised things, so meetings where something has to happen on a specific day. And also if I have a deadline due or something like that, I can put it on a specific day. There's enough space in there for me to be able to do that. But really all the tasks are just going over in a job lot on the left-hand side, and I'll do them as I do them unless there's some reason, it has a deadline and has to be done earlier. So that's how my weeks are going to be looking now. So you'll see that there's not as much drawing in all of this. There's not as much art in all of it because I'm taking a lot out of those weekly layouts. There's not a lot of space that's been dedicated to the drawing side of things. So on the right-hand side here, we've got my reflection page, but then I've got doodles. So I'm going to basically give myself space, and it's likely that I'm actually going to turn this into a double page spread so that I can give myself a little bit more room. But yeah, this is the notebook that I carry around with me and that I have all the time. And sometimes it's the only notebook. So, you know, if I'm waiting for a meeting or if I'm having a coffee between meetings or anything else, this is the space that I have to just sort of play around with and, you know, practice things and play and think of how I might draw concepts up for my graphic scribing or sketchnoting or all of those sorts of things. So I want to actually dedicate some space to give myself a little bit of play space, which is what this is. At the moment, I always end up with a few dead pages at the back of one of these journals. So I just go to the back and I do it in there, but I want to actually commit a bit of space to it and actually make it again a little part of my practice to think of concepts and how I would actually represent those concepts and give myself a little bit more of that. So that's a new thing that's come in with some of the other bits and pieces that I've taken out. So we'll see how that goes. I decided I wouldn't do a full double page layout for this month just because I don't know if I'm going to use it. I don't know how it's going to work or not. So yeah, I'm not being overly committed to it, I guess, space-wise, until I see how this is actually all going to work together, and then I'll work out how I adjust the layout accordingly. So here is my bullet journal starting for 2023. So my setup, my admin pages, my calendar, my future logs with my messed up June. Then my 3 words, my goals page that I will fill in when I have some time. I need to refine a couple of them first. My quotes page, my development pages, how I'm going to track my mood for this year, and then January's pages. So I hope you have a lovely start to 2023. I really hope that you have a lovely year and it's everything that you would like it to be. Please feel free, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do that. If you would like to share this with other people, if you have someone in your life who journals, then that would be great. But otherwise, just thank you very much for being here, and I really do hope you have a wonderful 2023. Thanks a lot. Bye.